Hey guys. Sorry for not streaming last week. It was Thanksgiving week, so I wasn't here. Um, but to go over um, everything, uh, rivalry week in the college football realm, USC beating UCLA, then losing to. Oh, we just restarted. All right. Um, Hello guys. Uh, Rivalry week. Sorry for not streaming last week. It was Thanksgiving week and I wasn't here. So uh, USC beating UCLA, then losing to Notre Dame in um, very interesting fashion. We'll get to that later. But uh, rivalry as a whole was pretty fun. Um, I watched the Michigan Ohio State game, and that was funny. Um, it was funny mostly because of everything Ohio State did last week against Indiana and kind of just disrespected them on the way out. And then Michigan coming into the big house, the horseshoe, and just doing that was pretty funny. It was pretty funny to see Michigan beat Ohio State for the fourth time in a row. Um, I don't usually like Michigan. Didn't like Harbaugh when he was at Michigan. Didn't like started when he was coaching Stanford, and the Pac-12 rivalries go hard. But um, it was fun to see Ohio State lose this game because, especially since Harbaugh's no longer there, and it's like Ryan Day, what are you doing? How could you lose this game? And it was pretty funny. And then there's Washington, Oregon, which wasn't really close. Minnesota, Wisconsin, not really close. Iowa, Nebraska. Now that was close. I didn't watch it, but it looks close. Yeah. So USC versus UCLA last week. I'm gonna give my quick thoughts on it, and then I'll go more in depth in the Notre Dame game. But um, the UCLA USC game was really like I always like to beat UCLA, but I hate losing to UCLA even more because it's like we're the big brother and UCLA is the little brother, and it's like you expect to win these games, and UCLA is not a football school, so it's like we should really be winning these games. Um, it was closer than I would have liked it to be. Um, USC, like I said this at the time, and I think it's so apt um, today as well. We scored all our points within the 5 yard line. Um, and this game really, like, we could move the ball, but we had real trouble um, getting the ball into the end zone. We had one touchdown this game. Yeah, 19-yard field goal, 23, 22-yard field goal, and then 30-yard field goal. It's like it's just like this thing we're just like we were so close, but then also so far, and um yeah, this game was really wild, and I wish it wasn't so close so that UCLA fans weren't won't be able to be like, "Oh, we would have beaten you if such and such happened." I wish we would have just, you know, but it is what it is. Getting that win was very important. Getting the victory bell back is really important, and it's it's even more sweeter since we got their defensive coordinator, D'Anton Lynn. Yeah, when I first heard of D'Anton Lynn's, like when he came to USC from UCLA, I just laughed because I'm like, it's always so fun to steal from little brother, you know. Um, these type of things are just like, oh hey, we're just gonna, oh your defensive coordinator did well, took your defense from near the bottom to near the top. Yoink. It's always fun to do that. That's always really fun. Um, Now on to this past week, uh, Notre Dame and USC. Oh boy, this game was a doozy. I had a feeling that we weren't going to win this game, especially since we got like before the two pick sixes. uh, We had two turnovers and we were still like tied, you know. It wasn't like we were dominating their defense. That we had a lot of um, drive stall out at like the 50-yard line, and we were it was 35-28, and we were this close to tying it, and then pick six, and then we came back to the goal line, and then another pick six. Like this was the type of game where we would have loved to win it, especially since Notre Dame leads in the series, but oh, wanted this one bad. Um, yeah, 99-yard interception return and 100-yard interception return. Um, Jade Mayava did pretty well besides those two pick sixes. He was 27 for 49, um, 360 yards, and three touchdowns. Um, like he did really well. Quentin Joyner did really well. I just wish, yeah, Woody Marks could have finished his last game in the Coliseum. Um, he got a concussion or what looked like a concussion, and was out of the game in like the second quarter. Um, Gosh, I just wish he could have finished his last game in the Coliseum. Um, but sometimes things just don't work out that way, you know. So, but other than that, um, our defense, it wasn't a good day for our defense, but it wasn't a horrible day for our defense. We got a couple of key stops. Um, we got a couple of turnovers, but it just wasn't a good day for our linebackers. Uh, this pat at the For the whole day, um, their running back just ran all over us. It wasn't just the defense or offense needed to pick up some slack, but it was that type of game where we could have won. Like I really think we could have won this game, but just a lot of stuff where it wasn't it wasn't meant to be. It wasn't meant to be, and Like we had 29 first downs, they had 23, and total yards we had 557 and they had 428. But a lot of that came down to is they scored two pick sixes, and we had three consecutive drives. Um, so we had three more drives than they did, and I'm not saying that our defense could have gotten another stop, but it just it's the kind of thing where you're just like, goodness, I wish we could have just put it together for one last game. Went to 7-5. Um, End off this nightmare of nightmarish season on a high note. I know I talked a lot about um, Jaden Mayava and Miller Moss and that whole thing. Um, I really don't think that either of them, like I think both of them are good quarterbacks, and I think that they'll be good for this team or any other team. But it was just this year we were just in the beginning of the year our offensive line was horrid, and our pass protection was like really bad, and Miller Moss was getting hit every other play, and that kind of sped up his clock. And then later on in the year, he just wasn't the same, and whatever was happening on the practice field or stuff like that really wasn't fixing his internal clock. And like just maybe an off season of working on it and going through it and practicing and practicing and practicing again, he can get his internal clock going again. And with Jaden, that kid's a gunslinger. It seems like he loves pushing the ball down the field. He loves throwing it long. I think that he can do it here, and he can do it a lot of other places. It's just this year was, I don't know what it was with this year. Like these last couple games, we needed a spark, so we changed quarterbacks. Um, and I still think that Miller Moss is the better quarterback right now, um, mostly because he's done it a couple more years than Jaden has. But I'm just this year has been hellish. It's been really really confusing because we were ahead in every fourth quarter except the Notre Dame game, and like, man, I did just wish we could have put it all together at the like I just wish we could have gotten our offensive line together a little sooner. Um, and we had like massive drop issues. Like USC had massive drop issues. Um, there were some times where it went in and out of the guy's hands and got picked. Um, and I know a lot of USC fans are like, why didn't we just start Mayava from the jump? And I'm like, because he didn't know the offense that well. And also you see what he's like, you see how many interceptions he throws. Like, he pushes the ball down the field, yes, and he loves throwing the ball deep, and he has a bigger arm, and he's a little more athletic. but also that can lead to a lot of picks. And I think that with a lot of the games, especially like Michigan or he would have been picked off a lot more. But um, not here to go through that. It's I hope they all both have great years next year, whether it's with us or without. It seems like Miller Moss is gone. He hit the transfer portal. Um, don't know quite as much about Jaden yet, but both of them can do really well in this system, and both of them can do well in a lot of other systems. Um, so yeah, wish the best of luck to Miller Moss. Hope he continues to fight on like he has his whole college career. Um, yeah, because that guy deserves it. He deserves it. He deserves another shot because this year he's definitely good enough to win these games, but for some reason or another, we just couldn't win these games. Like we should have won these games, but for some reason we couldn't. So other than that, there's the early signing day today. We got a couple of we got Jakeem. Um, Lincoln Riley was rumored to the UCF was rumored to have interest in Lincoln Riley. Um, Ends left for um, left for Fresno State. And we got a couple other signees today, uh, and it seems like a lot of these um, and Lincoln Riley doesn't seem to think that we'll get any more today. So hopefully we get a lot more on later signing day, or just because hopefully we get a lot of great prospects who want to be a Trojan, knows what it takes to be a Trojan, and then we can get the ball rolling next year. Um, Other than that, uh, we can look at the NFL slate. Um, of last week with the Thanksgiving games. We have Lions Bears. Um, I predicted the Lions winning, but not like this. Uh, the Bears' last 35 seconds was just a crapshoot. Like I have never seen a more bungled last 30 seconds than I had that game. Um, when Caleb Williams got sacked, I was like, okay, I could understand not taking the timeout in the first 10 seconds if you had a play lined up. But it seemed like they didn't have a play lined up, and it took a while for the play to be called on the field, and then Caleb Williams um, changed the play, and it was just a whole thing where you're just like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Snap the ball, call a timeout, snap the ball. And they didn't snap it till it was like 7 seconds left and threw it deep down the field. Um, Like, it was 3rd down, and it was 3rd down, and, you were just outside field goal range, um, and at that moment, 30 seconds, 25 seconds, call the timeout. Call the timeout, and then get the play in, make sure you have it, and then snap the ball, get the ball to the sideline. You can still stop the clock. Like it like you had one timeout, you can still stop the clock by running out of bounds and then kick the field goal. It's not like you take that timeout and you have no way to stop the clock again. Um, just get it a little bit closer, kick the field goal, go into overtime, and then hopefully win in overtime. But like I still think the Lions would have won in that scenario, but losing in this scenario is just worse. And it was so bad that it turned into a good thing because Eberflus was fired, and and this year is just a punt year for Chicago. Hopefully, they can get a good, good, solid coach in next year who can manage these games better. Maybe maybe a new coach, maybe Ben Johnson, maybe someone else off the street, maybe Mike Vrabel. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. Um, Next, Cowboys Giants. Man, I also predicted the Cowboys would win it. I was just like, but I wanted the Giants to win it because I picked them in my pick 'em. I was like, I have all the better teams winning these games, and I thought that the Giants had the best chance to beat the Cowboys because Drew Lock is better than their other backup quarterback, Danny DeVito, or not Danny DeVito, Tom DeVito. I forget his name. Um, Danny DeVito. Good God. But yeah, it just, man. Oh, it's Tommy DeVito, right? Yeah, it's Tommy DeVito. So Drew Lock is better than Tommy DeVito, and he's gonna start the rest of the year, I think. And I thought that the Giants had the best chance out of all these slates to beat the Cowboys. Um, Packers, Dolphins. I This game was probably my most confident that I had in a pick. Packers over Dolphins because man, and it's not just Tua; it's the whole team. It's the whole team who can't play in the cold. Um, Even the coach. The coach can't coach in the cold. The team can't play in the cold. It was just one of those games where you're just like, it was as expected. Packers won this really, really easily. Chiefs, Raiders. Oh boy. Chiefs get another win by the skin of their teeth. Um, though I don't think the Raiders would have made the kick that that botch snap um, that lost them the game. Really, ooh boy, it was one of those times where you're just like, oh, I feel bad. I feel bad for the Raiders, but it's one of those things where you're just like, I thought the Chiefs would win, and they did. They just find ways to win. So, Colts Patriots. Uh, Great job by Anthony Richardson getting that last touchdown and then getting the 2-point conversion to win the game. I thought the Colts would win it. I didn't think it would be like this where they had to get a last second touchdown and 2-point conversion, but their kicker Sly, the Patriots kicker Sly, they almost got a 68-yard field goal to win it. Just short, like that short. Steelers Bengals. Again, I thought the Steelers would win. I just weighed the options. The Bengals have a really good offense, but a terrible defense. Like really, really bad. The Steelers have an above average offense, but a really good defense. Which one am I going to choose? I chose the Steelers because at least they had a really good defense and a above average offense. And that gave them the win. The Bengals defense is just not good this year. Like really, really not good. I don't know what happened to Lou Anarumo, but his defense has never looked this bad. Chargers Falcons. Both these teams tried to give the game away. It just seemed like the Falcons were better at it with Kirk Cousins' 4 picks. Like 4 picks. That is I think the only team who can win with more than 4 or more picks is the Detroit Lions. Sorry, Texas fans. Seahawks, Jets. Again, the Seahawks special teams tried to give this game away, but Seahawks defense buckled up and 1 pick six, 1 fumble, 1 block kick later, they won the game. So Seahawks got another win and stay atop of the NFC West. Texans Jaguars. The Texans are so weird, man. Like they win these games where you're just like, why is this so close? You know, like with the Chiefs, I get it. Like it's their style of play and all. But with the Texans, it's just like, you guys were so good last year. What changed this year? And hopefully they can get a get back on track game next week. But it seems like they're going to be a first round exit this year. Vikings Cardinals. This one I was pretty conflicted in the game where I'm a Cardinals fan, so I obviously wanted the Cardinals to win. But I'm a Sam Darnold fan, so I really wanted him to do well. So when it became 23-22 with 1:13 left, I'm like, good. This is the perfect opportunity to get what I want at the same time. Sam Darnold led a game, like a get ahead touchdown, and the Cardinals could come back and kick a field goal, win the game. And I was like, okay, we could keep on pace with Seattle, and we just need to win the rest of our games. But that Jonathan Grenard strip sack was a killer. It was a killer. It killed our last drive. Murray had to throw it long, got picked. Like, it's just one of those things where you're just like, oh boy, if we hadn't gotten away from the run so early. But congrats to the Titans. They played a good game. This Cardinal team always fights. and we should get a couple more um, offensive weapons in here, and then more defensive players in the draft or in free agency, and we should be good. We should be good. Commanders, Titans. Oh boy, this game was 28-0, faster than you can faster than you can blink. Um, yeah, it wasn't that good of a game, and Commanders win quite easily. Like it wasn't it wasn't really close. Um, Buccaneers, Panthers. How about Bryce Young, guys? He's been doing so much better these past few weeks. Um, Getting benched and learning under Andy Dalton really helped him get his confidence back up, and he's having so much fun. Like he's having so much fun, and that's translating onto the field where they could have had a chance to beat the Buccaneers here. Like they had a shot to beat the Buccaneers here, and like goodness, they were that close. Um, Rams Saints. I didn't really watch this one, um, but it was close. The Rams just played with their food all day. Um, Prayers up for Taysom Hill. Yeah, just imagine telling people from just before week 3 that the Saints would be here. They would be 4-8. Like they would have called you crazy because the Saints had a 7-game skid. Like, good God, man. Um, Eagles, Ravens. I watched much of the first half of this game. Man, the Eagles look good, don't they? Um, they came back to win it, it looks like, and just the Ravens. Man, hopefully they can figure out this thing before the playoffs because they're a really good team. They're a really good team, but they have a few huge flaws that they need to work out, and hopefully they can work it out before the playoffs, and we'll be good to go. Uh, Bills 49ers. This wasn't really close. I didn't think it would be really close. Once I saw the snow coming down in Buffalo, I was like, a Bill should win this quite easily, and they did. Like with Brock Purdy, I've always said, and I will always say, he's like a Dak 1.5. Like he will win you a lot of games, and he will, like he could take you to the Super Bowl, but he can't play in like frigid degree of weather. He can't play in inclement weather, and he's not as good as those top tier quarterbacks, but he'll win you games. He'll take you to the Super Bowl. He'll even win the Super Bowl 1 or 2 times. Like he's not that kind of player where you're just like, this guy's trash. Like he's way better than Garoppolo. I think that he's the perfect player for Kyle Shanahan, and just needs to bounce back from this. And prayers that Christian McCaffrey um, can recover quickly. So, um, and then the Monday night game, Broncos Browns. This, from what I've heard, this game was quintessential Jameis football, where he almost throws 500 yards, but 2 pick sixes, which is just Jameis in a nutshell. He was 34 for 58 497 yards, 4 touchdowns, 3 picks, 2 pick sixes. If that's not Jameis football, I don't know what is. And Cleveland had a chance to win this game, believe it or not. Bo Nix had an okay game. It wasn't what Denver fans had gotten used to, but he's still a rookie. He will have one or two of these bad games. He just needs to get it out of his system first year, come back stronger second year. Yeah, Browns could have won this, but Denver was just the better team, better defense. On to this week, NFL games. Packers Lions. I was thinking about this earlier, but man, I just think that the Lions are really banged up right now, and this is the Packers' best time to win. So my head says the Lions, but my heart says the Packers. And oh boy, I'm gonna have to go with my head on this one. I think the Lions will win, but I think it will be a close game, a lot closer than the one in Green Bay. This is going to be in Detroit and in a dome, and it's going to be close. It's going to be close. Saints, Giants. Man, I said this last week, but if the Giants are going to win one, it's probably this one. But especially with Taysom Hill gone, and then Drew Lock being set in with starter, I think it's the Giants' time to shine. I'm going to choose the Giants here. Steelers, Browns. This is one of those trap games for the Steelers. I chose the Browns in my pick'ems. I'm going to go with the Browns here. It's one of those games where they'll play down to their competition and they might lose in the last second. Vikings, Falcons. I'm going to choose the Vikings. The Falcons are just a dumpster fire right now. They're in total disarray, and looks like they're going to start Penix, and hopefully that'll get a spark going. But it's just not looking good. Not looking good. Buccaneers, Raiders. I think the Buccaneers win this one. The Raiders just aren't that good. Yeah, Bucs win this. Eagles, Panthers. Eagles are going to win this, I think, quite easily. The Panthers just don't have enough lead in their pencil for this game. So, Titans, Jaguars. If the Jaguars had Trevor Lawrence, I would think the Jaguars would win. But since it's Mac Jones, I think the Titans will win. Will Levis has had a good couple weeks, a quite good couple weeks, but a good couple weeks. So this could be the week. Jets, Dolphins, Dolphins. The Jets are in total disarray, and I think Miami will make a run for the playoffs. I don't know if they'll actually make the playoffs, but that time with Tua on the IR really killed them. Really killed them. Seahawks, Cardinals. I'm going to have to go with my Cardinals. I'm really rooting for them this week. Both defenses are really good. The last time we played was 2 weeks ago, and both defense shut the offenses down, but the big difference, like the only difference in the game, was the Kobe Bryant pick six. And if Kyler Murray can get that out of his system, we have a good chance to win it. Um, Bills Rams. I can only think back to the first week of 2 years ago, where the Bills absolutely put the hammer down on the Rams, and I don't know if it's going to be that lopsided this year, but Matthew Stafford looks like he has a hurt ankle, so if he doesn't play, then it will probably be that one-sided. But if he doesn't, it will probably be closer. But I think the Bills cruise past this pretty easily. Bears 49ers. Without McCaffrey, it really depends on whether Trent Williams is back. But if he isn't, then the Bears will break their losing streak. Their now 6-game losing streak, and Caleb Williams will have another win under his belt. Chiefs Chargers. I think this could be one of those times where the Chiefs, AFC West competitors get them. The Chargers always play the Chiefs really hard, even when they were under Brandon Staley. So I'm going to choose the Chargers with this one. Bengals Cowboys. I think the Bengals will win this quite easily. Even with their bad defense, I think they can take advantage of Cooper Rush, and the Bengals offense is just really good. Really good. So that's all for me. Hopefully see you guys on Monday. Hopefully I can stream then. But if not, see you next Wednesday, and peace out.